That second half is the reason they went out and got Deshaun Watson. Emmanuel Acho, former player, takes a look at some analysis of that game-winning drive and a couple of the plays that Deshaun Watson made during it.
Deshaun Watson is back. These two plays, I would suggest no Cleveland Browns quarterback in the last 20 years would make the two plays I'm about to show you. You got to have it. Right now it's 2nd and 19. They're down by 1. You got to have it. Amari Cooper, he's going to be doubled. Right? You got outside leverage right there, and then the safety's reading inside. Look at Deshaun Watson. He is throwing this ball right now before Amari Cooper is out of his break. Remember, he's double teamed. You got a guy outside and low. You got a safety over the top and inside. But Deshaun Watson puts this ball where only his receiver can catch it and the only place it can be thrown. That's low and inside. 2nd and 19. Deshaun Watson, a perfect, absolutely perfect ball. But that's not it, y'all. That's not enough. Because it was really this play, for my money, that was the difference in the game. Now, Kyle Hamilton, first-round pick, a really good nickelback, also can play safety. He's going to come in scotch-free. He's going to come in completely untouched. But Deshaun Watson, he won't even look at him. He's just going to feel his presence, step up, avoid Kyle Hamilton. But here's the problem. Now you're going to run into former second-round pick Kyle Van Noy, who just had 2 sacks 2 games ago. You're going to dodge him. Now you're going to pick up 16 yards on this scramble. I would suggest that no Browns quarterback in the last 20 years could have made both of those plays. The Cleveland Browns go on to win this game. They just call run plays to ice it out. Those who tried to say, oh, the Deshaun Watson trade is the worst in the history of football, they were wrong, and they're awfully quiet right now. Deshaun Watson back full force.
And Mary Kay, again, it's not fantasy football. He doesn't have to throw for the most yards and most he has to make those kind of plays late in games like he did.
Well, those are the reasons why they went out and they acquired Deshaun Watson in the first place. And over this, since the time that Deshaun has been here, I have listened to so many in the national media just try to write him off, and some in the local media too, try to write him off and say, he's finished, he's broken, he's done. And I think a lot of that is because of his off the field issues. People don't want him to succeed. They don't want to see that he still is a good quarterback. But I never thought that Deshaun Watson lost it in the first place. I never thought he stopped being a good quarterback. He's undergone a lot of extenuating circumstances since he's been here. Last year, whatever went on last year can be attributed to his off the field issues, his suspension, and then coming back and trying to play some football in the midst of all that. He did not handle that all very well. And then when you fast forward to this year, it was still a work in progress in the beginning of the season. They were trying to figure out, what are we doing with Elijah Moore? What are we doing now that Nick Chubb is out? What are we doing with Jerome Ford as our lead back? How are we handling Jack Conklin being out for the season? So the beginning of the season was, just a lot of that. And then you move into the strained rotator cuff, and that cost him 4 games. So, again, this is still a work in progress. But for people to have thought that somehow Deshaun Watson forgot how to play football, I just thought that was silly to begin with.